This was not in the forecast this early. It's gonna take a couple hundred acres of corn to get that all cleaned out. Alright, good morning everybody. As you can see, we are not in the Steger. We played around with those that cob mail for the last 3 days there. There wasn't the acres that we originally thought there was going to be, which is fine. We got that wrapped up last night, and now we are getting into these Azukis. Just doing the first pass here. Well, it is going. I am a little concerned about the moisture. I'm really hoping that it rains 3 points high in these as well, because that makes it a little better. We've got our first combine dump. I'm not splitting them, but there is a bunch of swollen up wet ones still, which is different than I'm used to combining these things. I think we're definitely on the early side anyway. Whether we're too early or not, I don't know. I probably should take a sample to the place that is receiving these, but we'll just bring them a 20-ton sample. See what they say, I guess. Well, we've got the first dumper load off to processor, I guess. I don't know. Elevator. We'll see what they say. I'm hoping that my 3-point moisture gap that was in soybeans is also on these, and I'm hoping that those blueberry beans blended off with the rest of the load. The 3/4 of the field is perfect, I think, other than not being dry enough on the screen, but I think they are dry enough. And they're only going to get drier as the day goes on, for a certain amount of time anyway. The screen is, the weight is way off. I was at 44,000 pounds on the buggy, and this thing's at like 22, so I'm not even bothering with the yield mapping. There's no point in calibrating the combine. It doesn't matter anyway. The yield is what it is, and go off the elevator scale rather than what this thing's saying. But these normally these split really bad. I think I'm doing okay for that. I do see a few. It's definitely getting worse, and it's going to get worse as the day goes on and the beans get drier. Hopefully we didn't start too soon and he gets. I'm hoping he doesn't get docked on that load, and I'm hoping these blueberry, wild berry things aren't an issue for the rest of the day. But combining aspect of it, it's going really well. The losses are always really bad, like header loss to begin with, because they're so short and on the ground already. And these are the beans that I had to replant. You can actually see a dark strip. I kicked my auto steer out. You can see a dark strip and a light strip. All those dark beans are the originals, the first go around, and the light beans are the second go around. So it's hard to say if I think replanting was the right thing to do. It's just making combining tough because the later planted stuff is still green almost, and the older planted, the later first planted stuff is too dry, ready to go in the bin a week ago. But trick to combining these is just go really slow. You got to give them time to come into the head, give the wind bar time to blow the bean in. If you drive too fast, you just bulldoze them over. They actually fall this way instead of falling this way. And yeah, the biggest thing is not having the losses from the head. And you just gotta go slow to do that. So take your time. If I can get this 100 acres cleaned off today, I'll be really happy, but I for sure want to get 75 acres done. Hopefully a little more, because it is supposed to rain by 7 or 8 o'clock tomorrow night. So. Here's a blueberry bush. They pull hard. And that spot is where I emptied the planter out, and they're a little green yet. We're just kind of blending stuff. At least it's a nice long field, so it's really easy to blend. I do 200 feet of wet beans, and then I got a mile of dry beans to blend in with it. So hopefully by the time I blend it, My auger blends it, the buggy blends it, and it blends coming out of the dumper. Hopefully we're good. Well, it is it is going well. I haven't checked in a little bit because things are just clicking. I did have my soybeans strip away, that roller, completely forgot about that. Shove some more bean stalks and adzuki beans in there to get going again. That window's so scratched you can't see through it, but we're not cracking them. And one dumper has come back and there is no complaints as of now. Let the record show that I've asked multiple times if there's anything wrong and nobody's told me otherwise. So we're just gonna hammer down. If I'm 3 points high, we're rated 14.5%. So weights are way off, is what it is. Now it says I have 60,000 pounds and we've sent 70,000 pounds away already. Plus there's a combine dump in the buggy and I'm half full again, so. Yield monitor means nothing. One thing I do kind of regret, I guess, is I got thinking about it. I'm pretty sure I did a population trial in this field because I knew I was running short on seed, so I bumped the population down a bit in the replant stuff. I think they yielded better in the less population, to be honest, because the higher population is all flat. It's still yielding, but I feel like I was seeing a lot more 35s in the lower population, to be honest. 28 bushel times that by 2 basically is what these are yielding actual. But pretty sure these go by pounds anyway, which I'm saying we're at 1,500 pounds, so times that by 2 as well. 3,000 pounds the acre, roughly, is what we're yielding right now. Dry. I don't know. It's going good though. Field conditions are awesome. I've really only had drags trying to clean up wedges, pushing my bean stubble or my bean trash. Yeah, it's going quite well harvesting wise. As long as the moisture's good, we should be good to carry on. While we are carrying on until I'm told otherwise anyways. Let you know it's going good, I guess. I'll let you know if it isn't. So yeah, I'll talk a little bit about that the cob meal. I didn't really touch base on it in this video or since the last video. I think we ended up doing 1/3 of the acres we were originally thinking we were doing, which is completely fine. We didn't really know how much space to allot for cob meal, and it was his first time kind of doing it. So, and we don't do much. But previous years we've done 100, 150 a year kind of deal. The customers always pack it. Like, I've literally never been around for it, to be honest. So yeah, it comes in slower. I was waiting a lot, and then the cornfields were a good, it was a 20-minute truck drive, let alone, I think it took 50 or 55 minutes for the dumpers one way. So everybody was sitting waiting a lot, and we kind of got enough to give him a good test, I guess we could say, to make sure that it's what he wants before we go make a massive pile of it. And we didn't want to pile anything not on concrete. So, and yeah, the bigger we make those piles, the more it kind of crammed his yard up, and then he's got to deal with that all year. And to be honest, he doesn't even know if he's going to like the stuff. So we did a decent sized test. If he likes it, he'll pour more concrete. We'll be a little better prepared next year to haul the amount of tonnage that actually comes off on cob meal. Like, when you combine the corn, you get 5 ton. When you chop the corn, you get 25 ton. We kind of figured it would be like 7 or 8 ton, 6 or 7 ton, because the cob doesn't weigh much, but it actually, it bulks up anyway. So it went good. We did start with the processor really closed, and I think that's why the processor, or the harvester, plugged in that video. As the day went on, Chris kind of played with the processor. I think he had it up open to almost 3 mil. He was still doing a fantastic job. The chop quality actually got better because he had more horsepower. to fill the harvester to capacity. That's one thing with any harvester or combine these days. They like to be full, so you're using material as resistance. When the harvester's half full, it doesn't chop very nice. So he was struggling with that in the beginning. I think by the end he was making a really, really nice product. It wasn't long leaves. It was going good. So it was just a matter of the truck's not keeping up, and yeah, everyone was kind of waiting around. So we kind of pulled the plug on it, and we'll make sure he likes it before we do a big massive pile next year. So that's the cob meal story. There is still just over 100 acres to do. I think Chris was running the hay buster today, and then he was going to get the hardcore head set up on the harvester. There's a possibility they could maybe do that tomorrow afternoon. So, yeah, get these azukis off. I'm just under 50 acres so far, so I got 100 to go. And yeah, I gotta be done by... I don't want to really push it past 5 o'clock tomorrow night with the chance of rain. I really would like to get these done. It'd be nice to just say we're done sweet, or done beans. Tow the head home, blow it off, and then I'm pretty sure we're towing the corn head up here to chop the combine high moisture corn. So combine can stay up here, get that all done, and then saves driving the combine back and forth anyway. I think is the plan, but we're gonna go play around in these short rows. I think I've oh look, I got a dumper here now. I was gonna say I think I caught the dumpers, but one just showed up. I think we gotta get another 15,000 pounds and then it'll be good to go. Well, it's a little after 6 o'clock and I've got 55 acres in. I think it's more a soil type deal for the flat beans, because up on the knolls where they didn't produce as much, they're straining good. They aren't yielding any less. Even I would almost go to say that the flat beans are yielding worse. Up over the knolls, we're doing a pretty good job. I'm pretty happy with the line that I made. I'm going pretty much diagonal to them both ways, so it's not like one way or the other is cutting better. You can see some stragglers. Looking into the sun will always be the worst because it shines on them, but for the most part I think we're doing a pretty decent job cleaning the ground. I'm actually really happy with how the ground looks. It's probably the best it has ever looked, whether it's because we're actually grabbing them. Again, I'm thinking that's... They haven't complained about the moisture. They complained about the nightshade, which is the berry. They haven't complained about moisture, and they haven't complained about splits. So that's really the two things I can control on their end. I have started lifting up and over the really, really bad nightshade, bushy, strawberry, bush, blueberry spots. Just because there's no beans there anyway. It just makes the field look cleaner, so hopefully keep them happy. One thing I didn't really take into consideration is they're probably going to want to stop receiving at some point in the next couple hours. I'm not really used to that while running the combine, but it is what it is. As long as we get some dumpers empty before they decide to stop, and it gives me 3 dumpers, so 30 acres roughly. That's a good 2 hours, 2.5 hours of combining. From this point, I think I would be okay to keep going till 8 o'clock tonight, but those flat spots are already thumping, so I will have to really adjust if I want to keep going. But I'm happy with the losses. I think we're pretty sensitive, and we're not putting anything out the back on that, so I can live with. The ground looks good. Let's just say that the ground looks good. The tougher it gets, the less the head shatters. So the ground starts looking better from the head standpoint, but my my grain loss will really start climbing. So there's a bush, and we'll send that one through. There's a couple really bad spots up here that I've been lifting up over, so yeah, we've seen them in the soybeans, but they didn't really seem to affect anything too much, or at least Dad didn't say anything about them when I was combining them. these are edible beans, so I guess it matters a little more. Yep, there's a berry right there. You can't see it, but I can see it. It's amazing that they don't get smashed going through the combine, but yeah, it's going pretty good. I will say it is incredible that my angle is still there because this combine's on WAS. I keep meaning we have a receiver, it's RTK unlocked, I have a modem sitting in the shop. I came off one of the Magnums and traded in. I keep meaning to put it in the combine. I just never do it. WAS sucks on long rounds. It is, I bet we're a good 4 or 5 feet. Oh, baby. We're getting rumbly. So yeah, then you go and nudge it over, and then you're just shooting down the field the next pass, and you forget to nudge it back, and yeah, kind of frustrating. We're almost to the end now, but yeah, it gets over so far that you get into your trash, and then you start dragging. And RTK on the combine, a must-have. Never thought it was, but man, that's annoying. Well, the rope in stripped out of the right drive bolt again. I've tried 3 times to make it work with the rope ins or the keyways that I have, and it's just not working. I need to get the right one, so we're gonna call it a night and we'll pick this up in the morning. I got exactly halfway done. Morning. This was not in the forecast this early. I woke up this morning, looked at the radar to see how it was looking for tonight, and it said 9 o'clock, big green blob moving over the field. I never tarped the buggy last night, and I left beans in the combine because we were supposed to have all day. So this pretty much takes this out of the equation for quite a while, unfortunately. The forecast is not looking promising. I'm sure it's going to change, but we've got rain every single day, a chance of rain. These beans don't soak up moisture near as much. The issue will be pushing the head across the ground. I feel like the last 75 acres is going to be a struggle. I guess raining pretty good. But this is what it is. We can only do what we can do. The agronomist came out this morning and checked the losses. We're averaging 3 bushel over everything. Sounds like a lot. It is a lot. But he says he doesn't really ever see much better than that, especially in beans that are lodged. So you always try and be the best, but yeah, it is what it is, I guess. We're not doing it worse than anybody else. I felt like we were doing pretty good, but one thing we're doing good on is splits. But that could be because of the moisture, so it's not really the combine at this point, but it's going. We're half done them. Well, they're getting the new bin filled, or new last bin anyway. It's a bit of a tedious process because they have to, we're loading the overhead with beans, and then the dumper pulls onto the overhead, fills up, drives around to the auger, and the bin that the beans are coming out of right now is our slowest dry conveyor of the whole system, basically. So it's a process, but we need the wet bin empty because people want to start bringing in corn. So but yeah, I got the brakes down on the grate truck. They were pooched, good to go now. Just working away at cutting the pieces for the pit down underneath. I probably won't get too far into it tonight, so I probably won't bother showing you guys yet, but a little update on what we got up to today. Shop's a disaster. But moving beans. I'm hoping I can combine those beans tomorrow. Depends if it rains up there tonight or not. Tomorrow is supposed to be decent through the day. Hopefully we can just get them done and out of the way. Okay, well, it is the next day again. We're just going to carry on with this one, I think. But it is a little after lunchtime. Oh, I'm about to find out if I should be combining or not. Hold on. testing the same as they were on Friday. So my moisture meter is frozen. I think everything on the inside of this combine is caked with mud from the oil in the combination of the oil and found out the other day that the little round berries are nightshade. So they just make everything sticky and wet, and yeah, we'll see what happens here. But we got the green light. We're going ahead. We're gonna see if we can. There's 75 acres to go, and I've done 5 today. So we're coming into a really bad spot of nightshade. You can see the green all up. It's a very viney bush, and it soaks everything in the combine as you go through it. You see a lot of them on the ground. I've been picking up over the really bad spots. I wonder if I should almost be speeding the reel up and beat them off the bush before they even get to the, I don't know. At least it's just a 200-foot stretch, but it's 200 feet in a row, so that kind of really adds up in the tank. But I think they kind of blend out by the time. I can tell when they're dumping into the buggy. I don't think you would see it coming out of the buggy again. But this spot's really bad. Just kind of go up and over. But yeah, this is another situation where this farm was farmed this way, and it was 4 different crops when this customer started renting it. And yeah, just different chemistry was obviously required on the back 20 acres because it's straight across that it's been bad with nightshade, and the front is spotless. So that's the only weed in here. Like, it's the cleanest beans we've seen for azukis. Just the nightshade sucks because yeah, you can't really it's a very wet crop, or wet weed, I guess. I don't know. Go up over this spot. It stinks too, like you can smell it. It smells sweet. It's you definitely know when it's going through the combine. But yeah, beans in the tank are wet right now because of it. Woo! Hopefully, the wind is coming from the north today. You better stay away, you. I want that weather. I don't want that one. Well, we didn't make it very far. We are just gummed right up. Like, everything is just covered in a film of mud and snot and seeds. And now I've plugged my tailings. That comes back into the combine here. I think the hole just got too small. Made a bit of a mess. There, we'll get some cling spools back up there. Well, we have it unplugged and we're moving. Nothing's working. If that next field has remotely any nightshade in it, I think we're screwed. We might have to wait for the chemical to do its job and terminate the nightshade so that it shrivels up and dies in the field, because This thing is a mess inside right now. I'm very confident that my sieve loss is not accurate because of how dirty that pan is at the back. Yeah. I should, got a little wedge here, and we'll move to the next field and evaluate if I have to go to the pressure washer or not. I don't know, see how the next field goes. If I gotta drop the head and drive to the farm and pressure wash this thing out to carry on, I guess that's what we do. If it's not gonna get any worse, yeah. Please hold. We'll figure something out here. We made it to the end of the first field. 50 acres to go. We are moved to the next field, and I don't want to jinx it. Oh, there was a stone. But it's going much better. I've only seen like a half a dozen nightshade plants in the entire time I've been here. Whatever weed this is dead and dry and going through. I can handle that all day long. And it's just kind of this low mucky spot, and then you get up on the hill and they're actually really clean again. So I'm not getting any dirtier on the inside of the combine, I don't think. My moisture is working again, but I think my yield is not even a third of what it's supposed to be, because it's saying that I have 6,500 pounds and I've probably got 15,000 pounds in the bin right now. So that is way out to lunch. I would imagine that whole yield tracker system is just right gunked full of stuff. So it is what it is. At the end of the day, it all goes off the scale tickets anyway, so but it's going good. I am maybe pushing my ground speed a little bit. I bumped up 0.4 of a mile. They're standing nice. I don't see any significant losses on the ground. Ooh, that's even coming back. 8 o'clock, it's supposed to rain, so I've got 4 hours to do 50 acres. So I need to maintain a decent ground speed without sacrificing yield. So 25 acres to go. It's going good. I'm at 27 acres, so there's not even 25 acres to go. Yeah, sample's good. It's all flowing through the combine. My tailings is staying in the green. That's the main thing. I'm thinking that bottom sieve is a little gummed up, and that's what caused my tailings to bug in the first place. And opening up a little bit has got me back to where I originally was before it got all gummed up, I think. So the gumming situation is not getting any worse in these beans. There's very little nightshade, so I was very close to thinking we were gonna have to pull the plug until they died, but luckily we got that field done. I don't think I could have done another 5 acres of that stuff. But, well, I'm running out of time to show you guys these things, so I better just dedicate a minute to do it. These are the adzuki beans, and to be completely honest, I'm fairly confident that the lighter colored ones are the later planting and the darker color ones are the originals, and I would say we're about 50-50 of each. The originals are definitely a lot more shriveled up, probably don't have the bushel weight. This is what we're doing for header loss. There's always going to be some, because they pod so low. But all in all, I think we're doing a pretty dang good job. Like, there's ones that always get by, but yeah, they pod so low, and some even lay on the ground, so you just can't get them all. I'm very confident in saying that we're doing as good a job as anybody else, if not better. Our losses at the combine look like nothing, to be honest. There's so little going through the combine that it works really well. If there was losses through the combine, it'd be in my strips of residue, and to be honest, I'm not seeing much of anything. even down the center of the combine where the feeder house might be, shooting them out. Like, we look really good. So I don't know how many beans per acre it takes to make up a bushel, but yeah, when Buddy did his loss count, we were at 3 bushel to the acre. Which, it's pretty dang good. So, this is our sample. I'm very happy and not seeing, like, there's virtually no splits. So that's the biggest thing they dock on. Not sure if they dock on snails or not. There's the odd pod, which they're all tough beans, and it's getting worse now that the sun's gone again. But really happy with that sample. I'm not gonna fuss about that. It does help that they're 15%, so they're a lot harder to shatter. But yeah, this is what we're fighting. It's gonna take a couple hundred acres of corn to get that all cleaned out. That is some pretty wicked buildup. My bubble up auger is definitely worn out too. The entire inside of the combine will look like that. So I got 3 more rounds. I'm under 10 acres to go, so then we can do a nice service on it and bring the corn head up and get going on high moisture corn whenever the weather allows us. I think we're going to be shut down for tomorrow for sure. I had a stone get stuck under the draper. This is my last full pass, and then I got a little wedge, but it's got soybeans in it, so I'm just going to combine it last. We'll dump it in the buggy and we'll grind it up into the high moisture corn block. I don't want him to get docked on a whole load for 500 feet of soybeans. But got some serious funny noises coming from my center drum. At least I hope it's the center drum, and I hope it gets it to the end. I hope it's not the feeder house chain. Oh, we're so close. There's lightning off in the distance. It's nip and tuck here. Alright, this is the last half ahead, and it ends somewhere up there. But yeah, there's 7 or 8 rows of soybeans. Half and a half soybeans anyway, so we'll just throw that in the bottom of the buggy, and when we start the high moisture corn up here, she'll blend in, go through the grinder, and nobody will be the wiser. I don't know how strict they are on soybeans, but I don't want to wreck a whole load because 8 rows had some soybeans in them, so it's going to amount to like a wheelbarrow full, so nothing too crazy. Definitely not worth contaminating a whole load over. That is a wrap on beans anyway. I was going to tow this thing home, but the header cart doesn't have lights on it right now, and it'll be just my luck. I got a flat tire or something stupid, and I'm stuck on the side of the road in the rain. We'll be making lots of trips up here to do this high moisture corn up, so whenever a truck is going home in daylight, we'll make sure it tows the head home. But yeah, pretty good feeling to have these out of the way. It was nip and tuck. We're at 20 after 7. There's lightning on the horizon. Appreciate everybody watching. I apologize for the 3-day video. It is what it is. But adzuki beans done. All beans done for the year. So next video should be beginning of corn harvest. So don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll catch you then.